Okay, so folks, nearly after 3 years of its release, I finally went ahead and got an Analogue Pocket. I'm going to get into the gory detail of how much that bloody cost to get to Ireland later on in this video. But I want to concentrate primarily on talking about my experience with this thing thus far. I've been long looking for something to replace, I suppose, my Game Boy SP and my original Game Boy to actually play my Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games. And I'm a man of nostalgia, so I primarily like to play these things in handheld. Yes, I have played and streamed via the GameCube and via emulation previously, and that's fine. But I suppose my own personal time, when I want to chill out, I want to relax, I want to play these games as they were meant to be played in handheld. My very first thoughts of this whole system is the level of quality. It genuinely feels like an authentic product you'd actually get from Nintendo or Sega or whoever else, Sony. I mean, it's great. It feels great in your hand. The buttons just feel great to press. The D-pad, all these 4 buttons, the front start and select buttons, everything on the front face, even the shoulder buttons are excellent. So even without turning the thing on, that's quite impressive in itself. Just how it feels to use this thing. I'm going to power it on, and I'm going to briefly talk as well about the cartridge slots actually. So as that machine is coming on there, I have 2 games here which I want to test out for the purpose of this video. I'm going to pick Kirby's Dream Land, one of the very first games I've owned. This is my original cart way back when I was 9 years of age, and you can see slotting that in, it's just really smooth and flush. And what I mean is the Game Boy cart is flush to the top of the Analogue Pocket, which is really nice. So yeah, again, very comfortable to use when there's small or large carts in. So this is what it's like to pop in a GBA cart into the slot. Again, sitting flush, but obviously it's not as high, but that's perfectly fine as well. I'll start with a GBA game actually. So this is your front face menu for the Analogue Pocket. I'm not going to make this video highly technical or anything like that. There's bazillion videos out there. Really, this is how I feel personally about using this thing. I'm going to go ahead and play the cart. What I really like about it is it doesn't straight away immediately play the game. It gives you details about the cart that you're actually using. And another little neat feature in this is if the cart didn't read right, it'll actually tell you why it didn't read right, and basically that allows you to pop it out and do your old classic blow the cart clean and pop it back in again. But I thought that was just a little neat. I wouldn't call it a feature, but nonetheless I found it to be quite handy. I'm going to go ahead and press play. So I just skipped the cutscene straight away, and I think visually first, when I played this first, I was just like, I'm blown away by the quality of the screen itself, how the image actually looks and how smooth it actually feels to play these things. And in comparison to maybe the SP, I know they have like a single light on it or whatever else, but it's night and day difference. Honestly, I can't ever see myself going back to use something like this. I want to have this option now. There are video settings which I'll get into in a moment. The other standout feature as well is the quality of the audio. I'm finding it absolutely brilliant. Handy little 3.5mm jack there as well if you need it. But playing these games, the sound in general is just perfect. It sounds so sharp and crisp. I'll get into a little quick game here as well. Let's start, and look, there's my save from the last time I beat the game. We'll go with... raise this guy. Oh, not the first one. I nearly did it there. Let's start here. Do it on normal just in case anyone tries to troll me and say I did it on easy. But yeah, it's just impressive level of crisp image quality that you're getting with this thing, including the really clear audio. And as I mentioned, the screen's really bright as well. You can adjust that twofold. There's 2 ways. You can hold down the little pocket button here and press this up and down to adjust the brightness. I like it all the way up to the max, to be honest with you. Let's play just a little bit of the game in motion here. And we'll go get the morph ball over here. But yeah, as I said, I can't see myself ever going back to any of the original hardware once this is here. This thing isn't a gimmick. I think maybe is my main point. Playing them this smooth and this crisp is what, and with most importantly as well, is how it actually controls and feels to play. That D-pad and those buttons are just excellent. It's hopefully it's very hard to portray this on a camera without you kind of literally playing it or having it in your hand, if that makes sense. But there's no doubt the level of quality is there. What I'll do is I'm going to quickly go into I'm going to pause the game first. A little point to note as well is when you bring up this little menu by pressing this button here, it doesn't actually stop the game, so you actually have to pause the game to access the menu, because if you don't, things are going on in the background obviously. But little couple of things here. Maybe the most important thing is the settings, and to go to Pocket and go to System, and these are all the supported systems. Now some of these obviously would need the attachments, which I get into briefly shortly. But GBA, video, I like the default settings and the sharpness set to high, to be honest with you. But you can mess around with these settings. But the coolest thing here is the display modes. You can turn it to what it looked like in the original GBA if you want. As you can see, it's much kind of grayer in colour. It's not as vibrant. You can up it 1 by making it look like what it looked like in the SP. So if I go to display mode again, I go to SP01. It adds a bit more colour, but again, honestly, there's no going back once you pick the analog option. So go to display mode and analog GBA. It's just so much more vibrant and honestly gorgeous to play. I'm going to now switch over to the Game Boy because I want to showcase the Game Boy as well, and that to me is another standout thing of this handheld easily. So let's just quit out of this altogether. You're going to open up that menu again. I'm going to go quick cartridge and confirm. Obviously it's giving you a warning. There are save states in this thing as well. I think there's a single save state that you can use for each game. I don't really bother with save states, but that option is there. Again, there's a ton of options there if you want to get into all of that. Again, I'm trying to keep this as non-technical as possible. Now pop in the Kirby's Dream Land cart, hit play again, and it'll come up again with the details if it's read the cart right. Go and hit play. And you can see this is kind of the default setting, which gives you that real green original Game Boy look, which I really love. Maybe for the purpose of this video though, I'm going to have to change this slightly because it might be hard to see some of it. But again, you can go into your Game Boy, you can change those display modes. There's a couple of other ones. There's the analog one, which is the one I'm going to use here to give the best picture on this video. There's other options as well. I think that's the Game Boy Pocket, Original Light. I think these are just custom ones. But yeah, I'm going to stick with the Analog GB so that folks can make out the picture clearly on this video. I hope. Hopefully that's a bit clearer now. Okay, so I'll play from here. Yeah, but as I said, look, it really boils down to the fact is this is for me personally a permanent replacement for Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, and it really, I think the financial decision has to be made ultimately. If you're going to decide whether or not you're going to go ahead and get something like this, the price point for me was not. I was not impressed whatsoever. They surely need to come up with something alternative, or even have some way of stocking these in the EU or something along the lines of that. They really need to do something there. Like, it's been 3 years, and I don't understand why the original delivery is 50. But yeah, if you can get past that point ultimately, if you can get past the fact is you're going to be spending a fair amount of money getting this, what I can say from the bottom of my heart here is that the actual hardware is fantastic if you do get a hold of them. It really is not a gimmick. It is just quality. It's pure quality. Yeah, well anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope this has helped some folks who've been hesitant on making a decision. Again, I think the financial decision is the biggest thing, but when it comes to the actual hardware, no doubt that this is top of the range stuff. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you have the Analog Pocket? Are you thinking about getting one? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Yeah, and let's get chatting. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.